Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Meckles.
I'm Kyle Clark. A man's been taken to the hospital after he was shot today by Lakewood police.
The agency says he was suspected of shoplifting, had some kind of a weapon, but police will not say what that weapon was. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez has been at that scene all night. And Colton, what have you learned?
Well, Jenny, earlier I spoke to an eyewitness who tells me that they watched as police gathered around that man right over there across the street at that easy pond. Investigators that we've been talking to all day long say that that weapon that they approached police with was an item stolen from Home Depot. On the busy corner of Wadsworth and Colfax in Lakewood is the route Josh Winterheimer uses every day to walk home.
I was walking across Colfax and I seen a guy who was wearing a white t-shirt and jeans in front of me. He got probably to the edge of the easy pond when I seen the officers roll up, and then I heard shots, and that's when I hit the ground.
Lakewood police say officers got a call that someone matching his description stole from the Home Depot and made threats to their staff. When officers approached him, police say he approached them with a weapon. One officer opened fire, hitting him once.
Just heard like 5 to 7 shots. I didn't hear any commands or anything from officers. I just heard the shots, and that was it.
John Romero with Lakewood police say the weapon that man had was not a gun.
It was something that we believe was taken from Home Depot.
He won't say what it was.
It's a hardware store, so there's a lot of possibilities there.
Lakewood police tell me that part of that investigation will be looking into exactly what that item was. They couldn't tell us that earlier in the night. Also, how long it took police before they fired that shot. They're also not releasing the name of the suspect, and we're still working to find out the extent of that man's injuries. Live in Lakewood tonight, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
After a windy start, we were treated to a warm end across the area this week. Changes are coming this weekend, though, with a chance for storms. We got a lot of people who plan on some outside activities this weekend, Corey, especially the marathoners who want to know what they're up against.
All right. Well, you know what? Listen, if Corey doesn't want to talk to us, we don't want to talk to him. We'll chat with him in just a little bit. We're just sorting out a technical issue. It's all good. Denver Mayor Mike Johnson is backing off his plan to give top city leaders significant raises at the same time that there's concern about a budget shortfall. The Johnson administration withdrew that request tonight. He was asking for raises for the dozen executive directors who lead city agencies, said their pay hadn't been adjusted in years and the raises were needed to keep top talent. City Council has said they're concerned about slipping tax revenue, as well as the potential loss of federal funding and acts of retaliation by the Trump administration, and that those things together might put Denver in a budget hole.
Denver says that its All-In Mile High program has helped house more than 2,000 people since it launched in 2023. But there are questions about what comes next.
Let's bring in 9 News reporter Ria Jha on that. And Ria, there are some advocates for the homeless community. There are city council members concerned that not enough people in the housing program are finding jobs.
Yeah, and the city's goal is to connect people with housing and long-term stability. But an advocate says that's not what she's seeing on the ground. Friday night means grabbing a drink, maybe some food. But Amy Beck doesn't TGIF like most people.
So yeah, this is my exciting Friday night.
She's here, volunteering at the network.
It's a place where no money is exchanged, and our unhoused community can just come in and have a bite to eat and have a cup of coffee.
She says it's where she sees firsthand what's working and what isn't.
I think homelessness is about to explode in Denver because the services that have been put in place are not working in synchronicity.
So,
That concern was echoed at a city council committee meeting this week, where city staff said out of 80 people referred to workforce training through All-In Mile High, only 9 of them are now working.
Seeing once you get someone settled into sheltered homelessness or housing, the real emphasis and connection in getting them re-employed.
The city launched the work program this year and says employment typically takes 3 to 5 months. Still, City Council member Stacey Gilmore called the city's current job approach a throwaway.
I think that you need to put the workforce development training services right in the shelters.
we do need to do better on the workforce piece.
Back at the network, Amy says she shares the city's hope to do better, but worries that time is running out.
I mean, housing first really is key, But it's not housing only. And the need for the wraparound services, it's very intense.
She's not asking people to give up their Friday nights, but she is asking city leaders to listen.
And find out from them what works for them, because it's not one size fits all.
The city says the job training and placement program is still in early stages, and more than half of those referred to so far aren't ready to work due to mental or physical health challenges. Ria Cha, 9 News.
We have exercised the gremlins, and now we were able to talk to our man, Corey Reppenhagen. Hello, sir.
Hey, I'm back, and we got some great news. The winds are dying down right now, and tomorrow we should be in the calm to breezy conditions. Look at these gusts, all under 15 miles per hour, even the foothills right now. Up on the northern front range here, calm conditions right now in Berthoud and in Loveland. So things are shaping up nicely there as far as the winds are concerned. It's a cool but comfortable evening here in the Denver metro area, 63. At the 9 News studios. When you look at your forecast for tomorrow, we'll see quite a bit of cloud cover in and out through the day, mixed with some sunshine, but the temperature's getting up there, 73 degrees, and that will be feeling really nice with all that sun, with all that wind out of the picture. Here's the headlines that we're tracking. We'll also see some isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. That could be right here in the Denver metro area. Another round of snow coming our way, mostly Sunday night into Monday morning. And then Sunday, more storms, and those could be severe on the eastern plains. So I've got some stuff to explain coming up in the full forecast.
The city of Denver is joining a lawsuit against the Trump administration to get its promised federal repayment for caring for migrants. In December of 2022, thousands of migrants were arriving in Denver from the southern border, some by choice, some bused here by Texas's Republican governor. Over the next 2 years, the city sheltered an estimated 30,000 people. Denver says the federal government promised $32 million in reimbursement, but only delivered $8 million. President Trump signed an executive order leading to FEMA cutting off funding to help cities deal with the migrants. The lawsuit claims that's unconstitutional because it was Congress that appropriated the funding.
This was a federal immigration crisis that Denver didn't ask for, we didn't create. Denver stepped up in a courageous way that we're proud of, but the federal government needs to do their part and make sure they follow through on the promise Congress made to help fund it.
Chicago, Pima County, Arizona, home of Tucson, they're also part of this lawsuit. Today, the Supreme Court rejected the Trump administration's appeal to quickly resume rapid-fire deportations of Venezuelans under an 18th century law. The justices acted on an emergency appeal from lawyers for the Venezuelans who have been accused of being gang members. The administration says that designation makes them eligible for rapid removal without due process under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The Supreme Court had already put a temporary halt to those rapid deportations in a middle-of-the-night order issued last month. Today, justices ruled 7-2 to hold off on them further. Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas dissented. The case now goes back to an appeals court to decide whether the whole policy is legal.
A Republican-backed bill that would have made significant cuts to Medicaid is facing a really big setback tonight. 5 Republicans joined all the Democrats on the House Budget Committee voting no against that legislation. It would have supported President Trump's agenda. It's designed to make 2017 tax cuts permanent, create some new ones. The bill includes cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, clean energy subsidies to pay for some of that. But some conservatives argue that this does not cut enough federal spending and would only add to the federal deficit.
I have to now admonish my colleagues on this side of the aisle. This bill falls profoundly short. It does not do what we say it does with respect to deficits. I am a no on this bill unless serious reforms are made today, tomorrow, Sunday. We're having conversations as we speak, but something needs to change or you're not going to get my support.
Today's delay means it will now be more difficult for Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson to meet his self-imposed Memorial Day deadline to pass the bill and then send it to the Senate. The House Budget Committee plans to reconvene this weekend.
The national debate over adding fluoride to drinking water is not likely to play out in Colorado as it does elsewhere, and that's because this state has the natural stuff.
We don't need to add it. We have naturally occurring fluoride that's in our source waters.
Aurora, Castle Rock, Golden, Westminster, Colorado Springs do not add fluoride to their water. Their water sources naturally have levels that other municipalities create artificially. The state health department says the state's natural geology means some areas will have more fluoride in the water than others.
comes from mineral erosion in the South Platte, Arkansas, and Colorado River basins.
In 2005, voters in Fort Collins approved adding fluoride to the water there to meet recommended levels, something that Denver and Arvada also do. Despite the known dental benefits, Utah and Florida have already banned fluoride from public drinking water. That's been a priority of the Trump administration.
Here in Colorado, a bill creating new protections for transgender people will soon become law. Democratic Governor Jared Polus signed the Kelly Loving Act today, named after a transgender woman killed in the Club Q shooting in Colorado Springs. This legislation expands the state's definition of discrimination to include intentionally refusing to use someone's preferred name. Also makes it easier for somebody to change their name on legal documents. The bill had been watered down. It now excludes language that would have had courts consider a parent's refusal to recognize their child's transgender identity in custody battles. Also today, Governor Polus vetoed a bill that would have made it easier for workers to unionize. The bill would have eliminated a decades-old requirement in Colorado labor law, forcing workers to vote twice before they unionize. Right now, the first vote is choosing to unionize, then they have to win a second separate vote with supermajority thresholds allowing dues collection. In his veto letter, Polus said he was open to changing the law, but he thinks there should be a higher threshold when you vote for dues deductions. This veto was expected. Polus told 9 News at the start of the legislative session he would veto any bill that did not get the business community's backing.
Police officers in Aurora may soon be required to pass a new test to get a job and keep it. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman's pushing for an annual fitness test for new police officers. A longtime academy instructor says most agencies do not require regular fitness checks after cadets graduate. Both this instructor and Mayor Kaufman say they see that as a problem, especially in patrol assignments where the physical demands can be really high.
You know, I've been doing this for about 40 years, and I found it surprising the entire time. I find it surprising that a number of organizations fight against fitness standards for police agencies and things like that. I think the average public would love to see fitness standards for police agencies, but there's a lot of organizations out there that fight against it.
Those organizations fighting it often include police unions. The mayor says if this proposal passes, it would go into effect start of next year.